Hello, welcome to See What Sticks, a podcast about everything and nothing. I'm your co-host, Russell, and this week I'm by myself again. Also, if the audio sounds a little funky, it's because I'm using a different microphone again. My normal one wasn't working, so I had to use my roommate Matt's for this episode. So, hopefully it sounds okay. So, this episode is actually coming out really late, which I'm sorry about. However, bit of news for See What Sticks. I know I don't have a pop filter. I'm really sorry for all the P's and T's and such. Also, I have a cold again, which doesn't help either. So, a bit of news for the show. I think we're going to start uploading them during the week instead of on the weekend, just because people's weekends get a little busy. And it can be kind of hard to coordinate schedules. So during the week seems to be easier. So we're going to start doing that and see how it goes. And if it doesn't go well, then we can always change it later. Because that's what this show is about, isn't it? Just seeing what sticks and seeing what doesn't. Hence the name. So a thing that I've been trying to start on most of the episodes is the idea of going over what have I been up to since the last episode, and what's going on in the world, or what's going on like media and stuff that is fun to talk about on a podcast. So since the last episode, which came out last Wednesday or Thursday, where we talked to Adam, who is directing the movie that I'm helping with, we finished shooting, which is exciting, and now we're in the editing process, and hopefully it gets good reception by people who see it before we send it out to festivals and everything. And if not, it's always a good learning experience, just because it's I don't know how to put it, not super high risk right now, and the worst thing that can happen is people saying no at this point, which is a cool way to look at it. But I guess what else has happened this week in things? Apparently Will Ferrell got into a car accident, which is really, really sad. You never want to hear that, but apparently he's okay. Unfortunately, I think it's not his driver. It's one of the people in the back seat, or one of the people he was with is in the hospital. Maybe not still, but they weren't as in good a condition as he was, so let's hope they're okay. I'm sorry, I'm actually really sick again, which is super weird because I don't usually get sick like this back-to-back weeks. I think it's because I've been living in a state of pure stress and a state of zero sleep. For those of you who don't know, I am currently in university, and I am graduating from this anonymous university, which I actually think that I've brought up on the show before, but whatever, don't go look it up. I'm graduating from this school in like 10 days or 15 days, and between now and then is dead week and then finals week. And for those of you who may not know what dead week is, because I've talked to friends and they have no idea what I'm talking about, maybe they just are like yanking my leg or whatever, or yanking my chain, whatever the expression is. Dead week is the week before finals, essentially to have classes kind of wrap up, and I don't know what else happens on dead week, but yeah, you're not usually supposed to even have classes, or they're supposed to kind of be optional and for like study sessions. However, this semester, which is my last semester in college, all of my dead week classes are pretty legit. So I'm stressing out, and I have a bunch of finals, this film to finish, and then another film task that I've decided to take on, which has nothing to do with school, but I'm not even nearly prepared to really work on that yet, just because school has come first, and that's why these are coming out late right now, which I'm really sorry about for those of you who are dedicated See What Sticks listeners. I'm just dying over here. Sorry. So that's what's kind of been up. Hopefully the movie In Search of Recognition does critically pretty well. And then we're going to send it on to bigger festivals because the school I'm at has a film festival type deal, just because that's kind of testing the waters. And if people love it here, then I don't see why not. Or I don't see why we wouldn't send it off to other venues and other bigger festivals, which, I mean, is always the hope. But yeah, besides that, what else have I been doing? I've been working on writing a script for another film that I'm going to work on in an eon from now. I say that because I'm only like 5 pages in, and I kind of want it to be a feature length, because nothing else I've worked on has been that long. The film that we're doing right now is about 20 minutes, which for people who don't do movies, that 20 minutes sounds like nothing, but it's been, let me think, it's probably been like 15 to 20, maybe even more hours of filming and prepping and doing everything else and costume work, buying all this stuff because we're doing it pretty much all out of pocket, driving the locations, like eating, everything else. So 20 minutes on film is a lot more time behind the scenes for people who've just never done movie stuff or just don't really know. It's a lot of work. So the next thing that I'm working on, I don't want to spoil it because one of you out there is going to steal my idea and make it better than I could. And then I'm going to see it in a few years and be like, oh, damn it, that was my idea. And it was better than what I was thinking. But I don't want that. I want to be able to make the idea myself. But I'm in the middle of writing it right now. And it's loosely based off of things that have happened in my life. That's all I'm going to say. And that sounds like I'm making like a biographical pick. I am definitely not. It's just I'm taking some life experiences and twisting them into a thriller / horror type movie, which is something I really like making. Truth be told, I don't really love horror movies, like watching them. And I know someone's going to jump down my throat, and I've talked about it before. I think after I went to go see It, and then after we went to go see Star Wars, and then Shape of Water, I've talked about it each time where I'm not a big horror guy, but I think maybe it's a case of horror movies scare me, which sounds really dumb, and I know that's the most, everyone out there is going to be like, well, duh, but no, they scare me, but I'm fascinated with the idea of being scared. I think the first memory of a movie really, really scaring me. I'm sorry, I have a really bad cold, everybody. I think the first memory of me being really scared by a film is the film The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I remember my dad showed it to me, and I don't know how old I was. He probably would remember better than I would because I was really young. But looking back at the movie, it's very fake, but when you watch it when you're maybe 5, it's horrifying, and that movie really scared me, but through my dad's clever trickery and tactics to get me to not be scared, which involved wearing swim goggles so that it looked like the whole thing was underwater. For some reason that worked for me, and I was able to get through it, and it's an awesome movie that I've watched a couple more times as I've gotten older. But yeah, that was like one of the first times I was scared, and after it, I just remember being fascinated with it. Like, it's something that was like an unattainable thing, maybe. I don't really know how to put it. The film, it scared me, and I was like, ooh, I don't want to watch this. But because I had this sense, or this side of me that was like, ooh, I don't want to watch it, it made me want to watch it more, or made this like this other part of my brain say, you can do it, you can watch this. And so, sorry, one second. Sorry, I had to clear my nose a little bit, and it was probably really gross to listen to. I am so sorry. Super professional of me, I know. So that was like the first memory I have of being really scared from a movie. Actually, no, I have another one from when I was around the same age. So as you guys know, if you've listened to a lot of the episodes, I'm a huge Tolkien fan. Like, I love Lord of the Rings. I love everything Tolkien. I'm stoked for the new Amazon show, which apparently has $1 billion budget for 5 seasons, which, you know what? That seems a little excessive, but I think they're going to try to compete with Game of Thrones and the Game of Thrones spin-off series or the 3 spin-off series that HBO has already said they're doing, and Amazon wants their piece of the pie kind of thing, because apparently the whole medieval fantasy thing is coming back in a big way, and I'm stoked because it's like my favorite genre. However, I digress. The Hobbit cartoon from maybe the 60s or 70s scared the living Christ out of me. And the most of the movie is really cool. And spoiler alert for The Hobbit, I don't know if anyone cares, but there's a part where Bilbo and the dwarves who he's going to the Lonely Mountain with are in a mountain pass, and they get captured by goblins. And if you've ever seen the live-action version with Martin Freeman, that's the prequel to The Lord of the Rings that came out in like 2012 or 2013. Those movies are horrible, by the way. Not The Lord of the Rings. Those ones are just not well done. That's a whole different story. But the cartoon, the way they drew the goblins, they had like these big mouths with tusks, and you could see down their throat, and they're very scary, and they're I don't know, that like the image of those goblins is burned into my soul. And I've watched the cartoon since, because I probably watched it for the first time when I was like 6, and maybe even younger, I don't know. But I watched it and it scared me for so long. But I've gone back and rewatched it, and it's still very creepy. And I'm like, you know what? I was not wrong to be scared of this. But speaking of that, for things that scared people, my mom was telling me, and my dad was telling me, that movies that scared them when they were kids, which is really interesting to hear from your parents, who you're like, oh, movies scared them, just because I guess I look at movies really strangely or something. I don't know. But there's this movie, I can't remember it, and I know that my mom listens to this and my dad listens to this, so they'll know what I'm talking about. But there's a movie that apparently my mom's siblings, so my uncles, showed my mom when she was a kid, with this mist, and it came and like got people, and it was like this fog or this mist. And I actually went out and found the movie a few years ago and watched it, and I can only imagine being like a little kid being forced to watch this movie by like your older siblings, and it 100% makes sense why that movie would scare the living Christ out of you. And then my dad said he was scared of the flying monkeys in Wizard of Oz, which, you know what, are very creepy. Even though that movie is super, super old, but it's a classic, those flying monkeys, really, really creepy. I think they're creepier because they're so real, and it's like these dudes in these suits. Very, very creepy. Good effect. Much respect to that. But yeah, those are things. But I guess I'll go through all the things that have scared me. I don't even know what I was talking about. I guess now I'm talking about things that have scared me. And, I was talking about the movie that I'm in the middle, or the script that I'm writing. But another film that really scared me when I was a kid. So I'm going to go in chronological order from age. I love this director now and this creator now, but when I was a kid, terrified. So for those of you out there who may know or may not, Hayao Miyazaki, I'm probably saying his first name wrong. Hayao Miyazaki? Someone out there will probably correct me on it. Is an incredible Japanese filmmaker who makes cartoons for Studio Ghibli, which is a lot of people have compared it to Japanese Disney, but Hayao Miyazaki himself said he does not want to be compared to Disney because unlike in the United States, in Japan, cartoons aren't just meant for kids. They're meant for adults. Cartoons can be scary, they can be dramatic, they can be anything. Whereas in the United States, a lot more cartoons are for comedy and for kids. And yeah, that is changing a little bit now, but back, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe more years ago, it wasn't. It was very much just like a kid's medium. But Hayao Miyazaki has created some of the greatest movies, or greatest movies, in my opinion. The movie that really scared me, 2 of them, I've seen almost all of Hayao Miyazaki's big Studio Ghibli films, because I've made it a point to go and see them, or find them online, or rent them on iTunes, or buy them. But the first one that really scared me was this movie that came out, I don't know. I was really little. I think it came out before because I remember we got it on VHS, which, yup, that's a thing. And it's called Princess Mononoke. And the movie itself isn't super scary. There's some very creepy imagery, but the opening scene of the film, spoilers for all these movies, by the way, the opening scene of the film is, I'm bad with names and I'm not doing the research for this, but it's a guy, the main character. I think his name is, it's Ashitaka, I think is his name, just off memory, because I watched the movie pretty recently. He's with he rides an elk, and he's guarding this village, and this demon comes out of the forest, and it's a giant boar, and it's covered in these like tentacles, or these like black tendrily type things. If you've ever seen Venom from like the Marvel Spider-Man universe or anything like that, it's very reminiscent of that kind of like tentacle, almost like worms coming out of this monster, and it grabs the main character, who I'm almost 100% sure it's Ashitaka, and it grabs him on the arm and infects him for the rest of the movie, and it's like growing on him, like this curse from this demon boar. And you see these boars a lot more throughout the film, and they're kind of these antagonists, and they represent like the forest and keeping nature. And then there's kind of a good guy. It's Lady Eboshi, who is in like Irontown, who wants to protect her people but also wants to destroy the forest. So it kind of shows that there's evil and good on both sides, and it's a really good movie. If anyone is into, I guess, anything like that, there's a little bit of comedy and a lot of action. There's a lot of like subtextual things about the environment and how people develop, like developing countries, and just how like industrialization works, and people's like invading the forest, and how the forest has like a sense of power to it, and you shouldn't mess with it too much. You shouldn't try to play God, because in this movie there are forest gods who can play God, and it comes back to really be a issue. But Princess Mononoke is that movie. It's fantastic, but it scared the Christ out of me when I was a kid, because the demon boar type creatures. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. It's quite creepy, but it's a fantastic movie, and I love it now. And then another Hayao Miyazaki movie that scared me when I was a kid was Spirited Away, which may be his most famous movie besides My Neighbor Totoro. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about with any of these, go watch them. They're fantastic movies. Just because it's a cartoon, it's not for kids. Like, I would not show it to a young child. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But no, definitely, I think those kind of experiences where I saw these movies that I probably was not ready to see made me into the film person I am today, because it got me obsessed with movies, and it just made me like so fascinated with how these images and how these movies could make you feel a certain way. But I'll get back to that. But Spirited Away, spoiler for this, is about a little girl who, her and her parents are moving houses, and they get sidetracked and get, I guess, how do I put it? They get led into or drawn into this old Japanese like theme park, and there's like these, it looks pretty abandoned, but there's these food stalls that that have food there, and it's like, oh, that's weird that there's food, and the parents start eating. But Chihiro, which is the main character of this, I'm just doing this off memory, guys, I'm actually pretty impressed with myself, where Chihiro is the girl, and she's like, hey, this is probably a bad idea if you eat this. And then once they start eating it, they kind of get obsessed with eating this food. And then what happens is she kind of goes running off because it's getting dark, and she starts seeing these like spirits and shadows move around. Sorry. And she meets this young like boy who's like, get out of here now. I'll distract them and you leave. And she's kind of like, what? And she leaves, and she comes back, and her parents had turned into pigs, like actual pigs. Again, boars, pigs. It's a big thing with Hayao Miyazaki. There's a movie he has called Porco Rosso, where one of the main characters is actually a pig, but he's kind of a cartoon pig. These pigs are very, they're not like anthropomorphic pigs. It's like if you literally took a full-grown I don't know what they're called. Emma's the agricultural one, not me. But if you took a full-grown pig that you would have like at a slaughterhouse and you just put clothes on it, is what it looked like. And it really freaked me out when I was a kid because it's kind of, I wouldn't say a jump scare, but it's a very, very startling reveal. And yeah, so that really scared me. But the rest of the movie, there's some other startling images, like with Lady Yubaba, who's this woman who runs a bathhouse where Chihiro has to work to kind of get her freedom back so she can get her parents, so she can get out of there. And along the way, sorry, I actually had to pause if that's a weird transition. I had to sneeze, and I didn't want to sneeze on the microphone and deafen all of you guys. So Chihiro has to work in this bathhouse, this sauna, this type spa thing with all these spirits. And that's how she gains her freedom, and she gains her name back, which is symbolic, which is, like I said, super symbolic. And along the way, she meets No-Face, which, if you guys have ever seen like cosplay and anything about anime, you will recognize No-Face. He's a pretty iconic image from a lot of just anime now. He's kind of like a stereotypical image, just like how Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a movie I don't think I've ever seen, is pretty iconic now. But that's that movie, and there's like some pretty creepy imagery, and yeah, the pigs really scared me. But it all gets resolved in the end, and there's kind of a happy ending. But it's a very difficult happy ending. These movies have, I guess, happy endings, but they're not Hollywood happy endings. There's always strings left untied, just like I guess in life, where something may end happy, but there's also things that it's not like, oh, now we all walk off into the sunset, because it's not like that. Characters in these movies change and they grow, and it's something that's really cool to see, especially in a cartoon, and especially in movies that are, I guess, in a way directed towards young people. But yeah, so those movies are really fantastic, and I don't remember what I was going to talk about. I was going to say something that before, and people are probably screaming at me that they want to hear, but I'm sorry, because I totally forgot it, and since I'm recording, it's going to be really hard for me to go back and do that. But I'll talk about other things, movies that scared me. Saw. The Saw movies scared the Christ out of me. I don't know why. I don't love body horror or blood or any of that. Not about it. Like, I worked as a lifeguard forever, and then a swim coach, and like all this other stuff with aquatics. And I worked at a YMCA and did all this, and I worked as a trainer and just a bunch of stuff. And for the life of me, I cannot deal with blood. And I only ever had to see blood on the job in my... So I started lifeguarding when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-ish. So that's 6 years. In my 6 years of just lifeguarding and doing all that, I only ever saw blood twice. And the 2 times I saw it was not a good time. I smashed my finger earlier this year in a gym, and I destroyed my finger. I cracked my nail. There's blood. I went over to the hospital because I thought I broke my finger, but it's just like a bruised bone, and it was really gross. And my finger was all inflamed and purple, and my finger looked like an eggplant, which is a super good image that you all wanted to know. But even when that happened, I got lightheaded. I'm like that guy where I'll pretend to be all like, oh yeah, it doesn't faze me, but I see a drop of blood and I'm gonna pass out. But other things don't scare me, like insects don't scare me, other things like that. But blood and guts gross me out, majorly. So the Saw movies, didn't like them. I didn't find them scary in the sense that I'm horrified, even though Home Invasion, which a lot of the Saw movies use that, someone breaking in your house and kidnapping you, huge fear of mine. Home Invasion is super scary to me, and a few other random things. But yeah, super, super, biggest fear ever, of reality things. Also maybe a meteor that destroys our planet, and the giant volcano under Yellowstone National Park killing everyone. Those are also huge fears. But yeah, so Saw really scared me. And then I'm trying to think. Recently, what scared me, if any of you have seen the movie The Babadook, that movie terrified me. And I saw that when I was I don't know, 2 years ago. So I was in my 20s and I saw that and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is horrifying. Sorry if you guys can hear that. My roommates are out in the other room. I don't know what they're doing. They're playing some sort of game. One sec. I think I have to cough. No, I don't. Never mind. Saved it. Don't have to deafen you guys. But yeah, The Babadook. It's a really cool movie. It's a really interesting metaphor for grief and depression, manifested through this monster that comes out of a storybook. And one of my roommates recently watched The Babadook, and it's an anagram. A Babadook is an anagram for a bad book, which is interesting and kind of an obvious thing because it's about a book in a way. But yeah, it's a really, really cool movie, really scary, but it's pretty much all shot with practical effects, so not much CGI. I don't think any CGI. And it's all very realistic and very dark and gritty, and it's a very interesting film if you guys are interested in watching something that's a little different, very low budget, but incredibly scary, and not like, I hate that I'm going to say this, but it's going to make some people offended, but a lot of the horror movies that go to cinemas, if you love horror movies, that is amazing. I'm happy you love them. But a lot of them are very cliche, and you know what's going to happen. Maybe a few exceptions out there. However, The Babadook, not like, it's in a league of its own. You guys need to go see it. But on that note, there's somewhere I was going to go with that, with The Babadook and watching that. Oh yeah, so the thing that I was working on, I guess I love horror. And I love all of that kind of stuff because it's fascinating to me, even though it does scare me. And sometimes I don't even get through the whole movie in one sitting. It's fascinating. As I get older, I just like watch YouTube videos about like the making of these things to see like, oh wow, how did they do that? Or how did they achieve a certain look? Or what have you. And I really, really, really find that interesting. But yeah, funny fact. So for those of you listening, you will have no idea until right now. But the program that I used to record this unexpectedly quit, and I had to restart at the beginning of that sentence. So I had a different thing recorded on how I like to write and how I try to come up with stories that are not something that I would choose to go watch right now in a theater or turn on Netflix, but there's something that I'd like to explore in my own mind and kind of a story that maybe I'd like to tell, which maybe sounds dumb out loud, but yeah, it's just something where I'll take a life experience or I'll take something that I've always thought of or daydreamed about, and it's kind of like playing it out. And when I write, I almost think of it like action figures, because I played with a lot of action figures when I was a kid, and you know what? I would play with action figures right now if I had some with me. But that's how when I create a story, I literally think of each character like an action figure, and I make the scenario, which is probably super obvious to anyone else out there who writes. But I'll give you a little insight into how I think about things. So I literally think about a scene, like with action figures, or I'll almost draw out a scene that I'm going to write, because I'm a really visual kind of person. And not to get too personal, but I'm super visual because I have dyslexia. And I know, another big bombshell thing, but I'm going to leave that where it is, because I already talked about epilepsy. I might as well put it all on the table here. But yeah, because of that, I've learned how to be really visual with everything. So when I write, I have to be visual when I write. And how do I put it? So I always put like it in the sense of like action figures or something where I have these characters and I just make these scenarios in my mind first. And I'm like, okay, so in this scene, how would James deal with this character in this scenario? And I think about it like almost like I was playing with action figures when I was a kid. Like, what's a logical way to approach this? How would someone illogically approach this? And how would I approach this if I'm writing off something in my life? Or how would I have done it differently? And how would that make a good story? Or how does something really realistic make something bad, and like just changing it? And I mean, in reality, I'm probably not that great of a writer. I have no idea. No one's ever really told me. I mean, the people who've seen the projects that I've made have liked them, but maybe it's just because they're my friends and they're being nice to me. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of how I go about things and why I like dealing with horror and darker genres that I don't necessarily watch a whole lot of. I mean, I have seen like your classics. And I've seen a lot of movies in general, actually. Emma makes fun of me because she's like, "You've seen every movie." I haven't, but I wish I've seen every movie. That'd be really cool. I feel like I'd be a way better student of film and a film creator if I've seen every movie. But I can't, and that will never happen. But we can always hope and wish. But yeah, I think maybe it's just because I like exploring that side of my mind. But I digress. So that was a weird tangent that we went down for 30 minutes. But so I decided that since I had a lot of really good reception on the last two times I've done this, and again, I'm recording this at midnight, and usually when I record at midnight, especially when I'm sick, my favorite thing to do is do this podcast. Half sarcastically, but half really. Like, I love doing this podcast when I'm like frustrated and tired because it forces me to work and it forces me to do something funny because I'm in this like almost slap happy mood where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do this and be clever. So today we're going to deal with the 26 of the most incredibly stupid people ever to grace the internet with their presence. So let's dive in. So number one is, let's see if we can do this. This guy is giving the it's a Twitter quote, I think. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I think it's from Instagram, the picture. I'm not sure. I don't really go on social media that much. I'm weird. It's the dude giving. I'm not going to get too vulgar or say things on this podcast because I'm just not going to. But it's a guy with his tongue out, having his fingers in a V under his tongue, and he definitely is super drunk. And I'm not going to read out his name. But it says, "I want to visit the Eiffel Tower in France one day." You know what? The Eiffel Tower, I think that's an Apple product. They might have that in San Francisco. So next, my mom got all this cookies, cake, and snacks. I think I'm a die of beaties. Okay, common misconception. I'm a die of beaties. You know what? You probably should stop eating sugar, but not just sugar can give you beaties. And maybe, just maybe, on the off chance you were talking about diabetes, but you could die of beaties as well, whatever that is. That was number two. And if that's only number two on the list, maybe it's going in reverse order. Maybe number one, this dude who wants to go to the Eiffel Tower, maybe he's the dumbest, but I don't know because it's one then two. Let's hope it's going in reverse chronological order. So number 26 is the stupidest. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. So next, how do you know if you're lactose and tolerant or not? Oh, I see what he's saying. How do you know if you're lactose and tolerant? Sorry, it's really weird to read these because it's bad grammar and yeah. Okay, so how do you know you're lactose intolerant? So if you're lactose, you probably need to put the bread back in the toaster for a little bit, and if it feels a little crunchy, you're there. But if it's gone like too dark and like soot-like and too black, you've gone too far. Get a new piece of toast. That's how you know you're lactose. Oh my god, this one is like a paragraph. That's not happening right now, guys. And it's a whole Reddit thread, and no one wants me to read that. I don't want to read that. You don't want to hear it. Okay, we're going to skip to number 5. Let's just assume that was stupid and I was going to come up with some sarcastic answer. Okay. My version of flirting is looking at someone I find attractive and hoping they're braver than I am. This is from Yik Yak. If you guys remember what Yik Yak is, or if it's still a thing, is it still a thing? I don't know. But my version of flirting is looking at someone I find attractive and hoping they're braver than I am. I don't know why this is like stupid. I mean, it's a stupid comment, but that's not dumber than the Eiffel Tower or the toast dude or the lactose intolerant dude, rather. What? Okay, yeah, I don't know where I'm going to go with that one, but it has 213 upvotes, so maybe people agree with this guy. And this one is by Shay. I'm not going to read out her handle, but it says, "The Caesar salad at McDonald's is so good. Peace sign, heart, lips emoji." Yeah, the Caesar salad's really good. We talked about that in the last podcast. Caesar's salad, super good. I think you might have meant Caesar salad. Did you guys know that, is it sardines or anchovies are in Caesar dressing? or it's something like that. Someone, I think Emma told me that. That blew my mind. But I really like those kind of things. So, I mean, it didn't blow my mind in a bad way. It was just like, oh, sweet. Okay, next one. Damn, like open eyes emoji. The NFL been around longer than our government. We've had 48 Super Bowls and only 44 presidents. I didn't know that. Oh my god. Okay, Queen. That's who put this, and it's at. I'm not even gonna try reading that. Also, it doesn't matter. Okay, this one is painful. Um, you know what? Her logic. You're right. The NFL has been along longer. Ugh, oh my god, guys, it's late, and my brains. I should go on this list now. That's what's happening. I'm gonna be number 27 or 28, whatever this list is. That's gonna be me on there. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I've never realized that there are 48 Super Bowls. I think they're on Super Bowl 50 something. I have no idea. And there's only 44 presidents. Oh my god. I think there's isn't yeah, there's 45 presidents now. Sorry, I'm really dumb and it's midnight and I can't do this. Um, you know what? You're right. I don't know how the Super Bowl was around before our country. It's not like they vote in a president every 4 to 8 years, or there's an election every 4 years. Whatever. This is by Ryan. Uh, when I learned about the Hall of Cost in history class, I was so sad. The Hall of Cost. Yeah, the Hall of Cost. I don't even want to make a joke or a witty thing about the Holocaust. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that one. Um, name a country without the letter A in the name. Oh god, damn it. Okay, guys. So name a country without the letter A in the name. Here are the responses to this one. Country, remember. Virginia has an A. Europe, not a country. London, not a country. Europe again. Um, oh God. Ohio, not a country. Oh God. Mississippi spelled wrong, not a country. Texas, Illinois, Kansas has an A, and so does Texas, and Florida has an A. Illinois is the only one that's right on that list, and it's still not a country. Are any of these? You know what? There's one right one here. Hungary. You know what? You're right. This guy. You know what? Good for you. You actually were not dumb enough to do that one. Um, then someone put Africa. Africa's a continent. There's Mississippi, Denmark, and I think they meant to put Nigeria, which has an A, but they spelled it wrong, and I'm not going there. Someone put Tokyo, not a country. Next. Sorry, guys, I had to read those out because it was astronomically dumb. Okay, next. OMG, I seriously think I have 80 HD. I can't focus on my homework. Oh, he put 80 HD. Haha, I get it. Yeah, it's not 80 HD. Oh my god. Um, yeah, it's. I'm not gonna go there. Yeah, you might have AD like 80 HD if you think that. Oh god. Damn it! I lost. I lost 70 pounds. I look anorexic. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. Also, I lost 70 pounds. Good for you for losing 70 pounds, man. If you did that in a healthy place, but anorexic isn't a real thing. Also, this guy's verified on Twitter. How are you verified on Twitter if you said I look anorexic? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. What is going on? What are we doing? Okay. Um, this is number 11. This is by Jack. His name is blurred out. So let's see what he has to say. Why do the women never have to take DNA tests to see if it's theirs? Oh, God. So we've run into someone like this on the last show, and I'm going to go over this again to shed light on these answers. You know what? Some of these dumb people, they're similar questions, different people asking them, which really, really scares me, like in a very deep place. So, why do the women not have to take DNA tests to see if it's theirs? You know what? He spelled theirs right. I'm proud of him. Now, he doesn't know anything else, but he knows what a DNA test is, he knows what men and women are, and he knows how to spell their. or he knows how to spell this there. You know what? In theory, he could have guessed right. You have a 1 out of 3 chance of getting it right, or you have a 33% chance of getting that one right. Why do women not have to take the DNA test to see if the baby is theirs? I'm not even going to get into that because they don't. Oh, God. This is by Freak/Geek. I want my first daughter to be a girl. You know what? I'm going to bet a lot of money that your first daughter will be a girl. And if your first daughter is anything else, put another comment there because we'd like to know. Atlanta spelled backwards is Atlanta. No, it's not. Oh boy, it is not. Okay, number 14. This is by Alan. It's a picture of. One sec, it's not loading. Okay, it's a picture of Mount Rushmore. If you guys don't know what Mount Rushmore is, there's another issue. I'm not going to explain it. But Anthony put, crazy how nature make that. Yeah, it is crazy how nature made Mount Rushmore. It almost looks like our presidents. Weird. Huh. Someone should do some research into that. Okay, next. I cutted my hair emoji, and it went back to curly. What? Okay, I cutted my hair, and it went back to curly. Okay, then the first response, don't you mean cut? Ha ha, and then it's past tense. Oh God, he spelled past tense wrong. There's also some other issues there, but I'm not going to get into that one. Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white. Oh my God. What? Holy Christ. Did I just read that? How? I'm going to put this person's name out there. Justine Sacco. Is that Sacco? Justine Sacco? That may be the worst tweet I've ever read of all time. I'm going to repeat that, guys. I'm sorry if that upset any of you, but this is for real. It's number 16 on this list. Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white. What? Okay. This person is tweeting this because it's from December 20th, 2013. And they're from London. The name of the town that they're from in London, it almost looked like, or the name of the area near London they are, almost looked like an area by where my parents live in the Chicagoland area. And I was like, oh my God, this person's near me, but they're not. Okay, next one. Do people know how to spell milk? I'm seeing MLK everywhere. There's an I in milk. Oh, God. I would say this is a common misconception, but no, they're not talking about milk. They're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. You know what? It doesn't matter. If you don't know that one by now, you don't know that one by now, and I'm really sorry. I don't know if I can be the, am I an internet personality? Is that what I am, guys? Yeah, I don't know if I'm the internet personality that can help them with that predicament. Okay. Sorry, I had to pause it again to blow my nose, and I didn't want you guys to hear that. Oh God, what? Okay, this one is number 18 on the list. Thanks for packing my lunch, babe. Period. SMFH. So shake my, you get the word head. And it's a picture of a sandwich with like a Kraft single, except the Kraft single is still in the plastic. I think that's pretty funny. That actually might be a prank. That's actually quite funny. So next one is 19, and this is by Jamie. His last name is blurred out. So I heard it was fine putting your phone in the microwave to charge it. My charger broke yesterday. My battery was low, so I thought I'd give it a go. This is what happened. His phone exploded. So, if okay, a few things. If you are dumb enough to think that putting your metal phone in a microwave would charge it, you don't deserve a phone. So I'm happy your phone exploded. Um, Also, you know what? Go buy a charger, dude. And if you don't, I guarantee you know someone, maybe a neighbor, maybe a roommate, maybe relationship partner, maybe parent, kids, anybody that would have a charger because this person has an iPhone and a lot of people have iPhones. Don't put it in the microwave. Also, he took a picture, so clearly he got a phone quick enough to take a picture and then put that on Instagram or Facebook or something. Okay. Oh, Jesus. This is number 20 on the list. Yeah, that was number 19. This is number 20. It's from Twitter, and it's all blocked out, so I can't tell you what name it is, but it's a Snapchat of it because there's a little Snapchat writing on the bottom. And the tweet says, I only have sex at night because the sperm is asleep, which means I won't get pregnant and makes me a virgin. Hashtag smart. Um, you're wrong on a lot of levels there, and I really am scared for you and everything. So yeah, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Next, I'm not going to touch that one anymore. This is by Bay, BAE. Uh, the back code of my card is 388. Why is everyone asking SMH? Shake my head. And then um, finally got my debit card. Love the blue. Oh my god. So I get I get what this is, why this person's so dumb. So this is on Twitter and they're asking about the little 3-digit code on the back of like their debit card. When you buy certain things or when you register your card, you have to put that 3-digit pin in. And she's like, why are they asking? And she's giving it out. And the next thing is a picture of her debit card and the number. And she already just gave out the back. Unfortunately, I would put the number in here, but the expiration date on the card was 0317 and it's definitely deactivated. So you guys lucked out on that one. Or didn't luck out, sorry. Uh, um, I believe these are rubber bullets. Can anyone confirm? The picture he's looking at, what he thinks are rubber bullets, are earplugs. Those aren't rubber bullets. You could probably shoot those out of a gun. Actually, they'd probably like explode or melt. I don't know how a gun works. Um, uh, okay, this is number 23. Yeah, okay. Canadians think the Titanic was a real event and not just a movie. How dumb can you be? And this is a Facebook one. And then underneath it, the comment is, I really hope you're kidding. I agree with that guy. I really hope that guy's kidding as well. Because we all know the Titanic was just a movie. Duh. Um, oh no. Oh no, this one is painfully dumb. I'm really sorry. 24. Native Americans need to move back to India. Okay, this guy doesn't understand what a Native American is and needs to move back to India, so he's confusing Native Americans with Indians and confusing Indians with Native Americans and Indians as what we call Native Americans with Indian people. And this guy's a racist because he wants these people to move back to India. Oh God, this. What it's is it from Austin Powers? I think so, or maybe Wayne's World, where he keeps having this circular argument with himself, and he's like, "I've gone cross-eyed." That's this. You just have this circular argument with yourself, and you go cross-eyed. Um, but I'll read that one more time for all of you who need to hear that again. Native Americans need to move back to India. Oh, God damn it. Okay, next. Um, okay, this is number 25. God, I hate biology. If apes evolved into humans, then why are there still apes? Think about it, you blank morons in your lab coats. And then there's a comment. 3 people liked it. XD right. And then underneath it, there's another comment. It says, "Scientists are the stupidest people I know." Using the word "no" wrong, wrong no, and spelled "stupidest" wrong. Okay. For the people out there, maybe someone out there is listening and they don't believe in evolution, which, okay, fine, you're wrong. But also, why are there still apes? Oh, God. I'm not going to get into it. Chimpanzees, and they're different. Oh God. Um, Chimps and humans. I'm not getting into it. This actually hurt my brain. And you know what? The scariest thing about that comment is in high school, when we were going through like biology and everything else, I distinctly remember someone asking this exact same question, and this specific person in my high school, who I clearly remember, and I could shout out their name, but I'm not that big of a monster. Also, I 100% guarantee they don't listen to this or remember who I am, because I've been told I'm a very forgettable person. Um, oh my god. When this person asked, I'll even say what class I was in, what my teacher's name. His name was Mr. Straylu, and Mr. Straylu was a really nice guy. He kind of looked like Jason Statham, actually, like bald and like thin, and he wasn't British, but had that kind of look. He looked like he's the kind of guy that would beat you up in about 5 seconds, like with his eyes closed, tied behind his back, with like one shoe. That's the kind of guy he looked like. And I remember this person. I'm not going to use his real name. Let's call him Paul, because I actually didn't know any Pauls in high school. But Paul was like, Mr. Straylu, why are there apes? Because aren't apes supposed to be humans if we evolved from them? This doesn't make sense. Clearly a lie. And then I think for a second, Mr. Straylu's brain was like, this kid's joking. But then no one said anything. And then I think Mr. Straylu, inside of his head, contemplated, like, I should quit right here, right now. This is it. It's done. All of this, the dream is over. But then it took another, because it was like high school was the last class of the day, and it was like longer. And I think we spent 40 minutes of him trying to explain to this kid how evolution works, and how just because there's chimpanzees on Earth doesn't mean, or does mean, there's still evolution and all this thing. And this kid just would not get it the entire class. And that just brought that weird memory up. I thought I'd forget that forever and have that weird part of my brain go away. But thank you, dumbest people online, for bringing that weird, horrible memory back. It's actually pretty funny, and I would definitely tell that story again. Or if I ever saw that person, I'd be like, do you believe in evolution yet? But actually, I probably wouldn't, because I'm not that big of an asshole. Okay, next. What? Okay, cool. So this is the last one on the list. Vent alert. Tell my sons to write their spelling words, and my 10-year-old said it's too hard and he doesn't want to do it. I felt like I'm failing and this homeschool stuff. Oh my god, I read that legitimately correctly. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, what they're... No, oh no, oh no. Help. Someone needs to call someone. Okay, this is clearly a homeschooling mom or dad, and a bunch of their words are spelled wrong, and I felt like, and I'm failing, and I think you feel like, and you are failing at this homeschooling stuff. You spelled homeschooling wrong. Oh my god, you're homeschooling your children. I hope this is a joke. But those kids are so totally doomed. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's the end of those. I don't understand. I hope I've never come off that stupid to anybody. Or if I've come off that stupid on the podcast, someone who listens to the show is allowed to, like, send me a really angry hate mail and be like, you're dumb. And you know what? I'm fine. Also, I've gotten some hate mail already on the YouTube side of this. If you guys didn't know, I'm going to plug myself. These go up on YouTube as well. Or if that's how you're listening to this, hello, YouTube. But yeah, so these go up on YouTube as well as on like iTunes and Spreaker and everywhere else that you may listen to the show. But the YouTube side, some of the comments that I've gotten are incredible. And some of the emails I've gotten are amazing. I don't think I've gotten any positive emails yet, only hate emails. So on one of the shows coming up, I think maybe next week or the week after, is episode 25. So I think episode 26 or 27 is kind of like the 6-month mark. I'm going to read off a bunch of hate mail. So if you guys want to send insults to me, email them to me. And I'll just read your insults. But if they're really, 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 really good, I may also read off your name and email address, so be warned. Actually, I won't do that. I'm not going to screw anyone's day up like that. But if you want to just send me a funny insult, I'd love to read it because I think it's funny when people try to make fun of me. I love it. But yeah, so that was the show. Unfortunately, Emma couldn't be here. Oh yeah, I should explain why Emma isn't here tonight. So we were going to do the podcast. If Emma's listening to this, she'll know. But so we were supposed to do the podcast, and then I had to go see a play tonight for, I have to write a review on it and stuff. So I had to see a play tonight, and it was kind of the last night I was able to see it, and it went way longer than I thought, and I got out of it, the play, around 10 p.m., and I texted Emma for the podcast because I told her, hey, I have this play, it shouldn't be too long, and then I'll be good, and I can write the review tomorrow. So I called Emma after the play, no pickup. Either one of two things. Let's hope she didn't get kidnapped, or she's probably asleep because she gets up really early. And she's not a lazy monster like me who sleeps until noon all the time. So that's why I'm able to do this till 1 in the morning. But yeah, so that's why Emma's not on the show, just because I needed to get one out this week. And there's a bunch of microphone issues, so I'm using a different mic. I think I said that at the beginning. But hopefully it sounds okay. And if it doesn't, I'm really, really, really sorry. I am not apologizing about it because I'm sorry about that, but I'm not going to redo the episode because this took minimal effort that I'm not redoing. But yeah, just because it would just take too long. And I think it actually sounds pretty good. This is my roommate Matt's microphone, which is actually really nice. It matches the aesthetic of the rest of my podcasting studio that I kind of have set up in my apartment, which hopefully the podcasts have gotten better for you guys listening. But yeah, coming up, we will actually have a theme song for the podcast coming soon. I'm in talks with some people to make one. Also, I've been in some talks to do an official website for the show. Excuse me. And do some other things that I've been really, really wanting to do. And since the podcast has been around for about 6 months, people are starting to take me seriously because I know the first few episodes, people are like, okay, that's cute, you're doing a show. But now that's been a longer thing and there's people who actually listen now, people are starting to take it seriously, which is awesome. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I don't even take myself seriously all the time. But I'm really happy people listen, and I'm really happy that you are listening right now. You. Yes, you listening. I'm talking straight to you. Hello. How's your day or night going? If it's a drive, I hope you're driving safe. And if you listen to this to fall asleep, I'm really glad. At least you're listening. Sorry about that creepiness. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And I've been throwing around the idea, once I get a little more traction on it, to do potential like merch or something. I was thinking about just like making stickers at first or magnets because those are pretty cool. I put one on the back of my laptop and then like sell them and then make money. That's what I'm doing, guys. It's all for the money. You guys didn't know that. It's not about me having fun doing this hobby that I definitely like doing. It's about the money. I'm just totally kidding. It's not about money. But I might make stickers or something because I kind of like the logo that I've created for this. It'd be kind of cool to have like a tangible piece of that. But if people are into that kind of idea, definitely let me know. Or don't let me know, and I'll probably still do it anyway. But yeah, thank you so much for listening again to this rant of me for 58 minutes. Hopefully I didn't sound too crazy. And hopefully you enjoyed another solo episode from Russell. Hopefully Emma will be back on the show on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you for waiting for this episode. It means a lot. And I understand it's been really inconsistent lately. It's just been really tricky with all the things happening in my life. And yeah, but thank you so much. This is See What Sticks. It is a podcast, and clearly it is about everything and definitely nothing. And I really hope everyone has enjoyed it. I hope everyone's having a great week, great day, all of that awesome stuff. And hopefully you come back next time. If you like the show, tell people about it, or don't tell people about it, honestly. But yeah, thank you. And if you're one of the people who've started listening from LinkedIn, because I put this on my LinkedIn as well, thank you. Thank you for listening. It means a lot to me. But yeah, I hope to see or hear from you or speak to you guys the next episode as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Goodbye.